When I come back from a trip, I'm usually just filled with all kinds of ideas and things that I want to do. So you will probably be seeing a lot of those ideas coming to fruition here over the next couple of days. And one of them I'll tell you about at the end of this episode. We had a great day, obviously, on the market, a great 13 days now in a row. I'll talk to you also at the end of this about what I think is going to happen the rest of the week for Tesla stock and in general for the stock market. And then, that's what we're going to do. So this is Randy Kirk. If you like getting this kind of content each day, then please hit like. If you'd like to subscribe, if you haven't done that already, that'd be a good thing to do. You should also buy the book, The Elon Musk Mission or the Elon Musk Method. Those are other things you could do to help support the channel. And then there's Patreon. You might want to hit notify because you'll see. In fact, wait to hit notify until the very end because you'll find out a bunch of reasons why I think you'll want to hit notify. So the sad news for today is that the semi has been delayed. And you know how much I love, if you watch this channel, you know how much I love the semi. So I am very sad that the semi is being delayed, is now not going to go into full production until the end of 2024. The reason given is because there's not enough batteries. Now, just a little while ago, we heard there was plenty of batteries. So now that's a little worrisome, don't you think, that now there's not enough batteries? So this is a little, I don't know, what's the full story here? Well, maybe we'll have to wait until the earnings report in the latter part of July to find out what's really going on. But as of today, Elon says not enough batteries. So we're putting off the manufacturing. Well, other possibilities are, they haven't even broken ground at Reno for the extension yet. So maybe they're just not quite as far along as they'd like to be on that. And also, are you seeing a lot of production of semis going out, new orders going out to customers? And so maybe there's something going on with the manufacturer of the product itself. Maybe there's changes or things they need to do. Really a little confused there. So anyway, Brian gave me a note, sent me a text. He says, well, I think now we're probably looking at only 5,000 in 24, maybe 30,000 in 25, and maybe 50 to 70,000 in 2026. I think his numbers are as good as any. I might have my own variation of that. In fact, I'll be doing a longer video about the semi, probably tomorrow or the next day. I want this all to sink in. I want to see if there's any more scuttle about it before I do my video on the semi, because I do want to project semis out to the end of the decade. All right. So now, according to Sam Altman, who is, of course, the co-founder of OpenAI with Elon Musk, he says it'll take about $100 billion for some one company to reach AGI, or, the full AI, the general AI, as they call it. So Elon, responding to that, said, well, GPU companies, when they hear that, and then he had a picture of a meme of somebody rubbing their hands together. So the big winner in the AI space apparently is going to be the GPU makers, at least for now. Watched a very long video. You might want to be interested in watching it yesterday with Rex Friedman, one of my favorite interviewers. I aspire to be as good an interviewer as Rex Friedman. And he was interviewing Mark Zuckerberg, I think 2.5 hours. And they talked about a whole range of things, even including Mark's athletic skills. But they did spend a lot of time talking about AGI and what that looks like, what it's going to mean for Facebook, what it's going to mean for all the companies related to Mark. Anyway, it was a good interview as usual. You might want to check that out. So big story for today, in my opinion. Now, those stories are big, but I think the big story right now is this NACS move. And basically, one after another, people are coming out and saying that they're going to accept the North American charging standard, which is the Tesla standard. They're going to take this standard as their own, or they're going to expand what they're doing to include that. It started with Ford, and then General Motors, and then some of the people who have these charging stations that are around the country that currently only use the CSS So anyway, I put together a chart for you. Let me pull that chart up. I need to go to share screen, which is always a fun thing for me to do. I'm always having trouble sharing my screen. You'd think I'd be able to learn this eventually, right? Here we go. Share screen, desktop. Here we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. Okay. And then we need to go to here. Okay. So I've listed all the companies that have these charging stations around the country, the largest of which by far is ChargePoint Network. Now, this is the US only. This is not the world. So ChargePoint Network has almost 50,000 posts now at 15,454 stations. They have the most, and Tesla is in second place with 27,000 posts. Of course, they have about that much internationally, somewhere between 50 and 60,000, I believe, at this point. And then there's what was referred to on this list as non-networked. So these would be smaller companies that didn't make this list. Blink Network SemaConnect at 5,802 posts, Blink Network at 3,312, etc. You can see the list. I'm going to post this up on Patreon if you'd like to be able to get access to it and take a deeper look. So the ones in red are the ones that have already announced. So ChargePoint has announced that they will be employing NACS in their stations. Has Blink Network and EVgo Network. Now this is a longer list. So you can see all these different folks that are doing these stations and these posts, and you get down here to, then there's 3 that were not in there. I'm assuming these are the non-networked folks. I didn't go into a lot of detail to see who these people were, but Tritium, Wallbox, and EnviroSpark have announced today that they are going to also include NACS in their efforts. And then Enel X-Way is a maker. They make the actual connectors. They're the largest, I guess, in the country, except for Tesla, in making the connectors. And they're saying that they will now make available the NACS standard connectors. Of course, in the car companies, we've got Ford and GM that have now said that they are going to go to fully NACS by 2025 and start offering adapters now and into 2024. And then here's the rest of the list of the major car companies, major BEV car companies in the United States. Hyundai Kia is number 1. I mean, after Tesla, Ford, and GM, Hyundai Kia is next. And Herbert did a nice interview with Corey today, where he talked about Hyundai Kia and how strong they are, what good quality products they're making. I've been saying for a long time, I think Hyundai Kia will be one of the top 4 or 5 finishers in the race to be major players in this space. Volkswagen, which includes Audi and Porsche, are next in line. I think they also look like they might end up, even if it's only the Audi and Porsche divisions. But anyway, no, Volkswagen's got a couple of decent cars out there right now, and which are selling well in some parts of Europe, although I'm seeing some evidence that maybe some of their best sellers are selling less, which is not good. Anyway, Nissan, I can't believe that they're even in the game. Maybe that included, maybe in this list, I'm not sure, might have included, PHP, anyway, the non-fully electric. So the BMW folks, Mercedes-Benz, Rivian, Lucid, and Stellantis. Stellantis announced today that they're reviewing NACS. I think that means we're going to do NACS, but we're not ready to say so yet. Maybe they're still in negotiations with Tesla. I also heard today, you may have also heard this, that that GM has said that there was no amount of money, there's no money transaction, no money changing hands between them and Tesla. Tesla will make money, of course, off the folks that come to the charging stations, and they will benefit greatly from the fact that all these other brands, their cars will commonly be going to Tesla stations to get charged. So it's going to be a good deal for Tesla anyway you cut it. But anyway, that's the chart. I thought that was interesting. I thought maybe you'd like to see that. Let's go back now and talk about the other items on my list. So let's see. So, of course, the market was happy about the CPI numbers today. And I'm pretty sure that the PPI numbers will not rain on our parade not tomorrow morning. So the producer price index comes out in the morning, and I'm again expecting it to be around break even. No increase, no decrease in producer pricing. The street, I think, is saying plus 0.1. I'm saying it might be negative. Anyway, it's not, I don't think it's gonna be an issue. I don't think it's gonna change anything. And then of course, economists right now, when they were polled, said they're 99% sure there'll be no increase in the Fed interest rates tomorrow. So that's a pretty good number. They're continuing to think, maybe the Fed will come back and increase the rates in July. But the majority, I think 2/3, the last I saw it, 2/3 were saying no increase in July either. But the bond market is kind of saying maybe that there's going to be an increase in July. So I'm not sure, how that's going to look going forward. What I can see is that the bonds, the 10 years are going up, and that has been the place that those rates have been very, very low. And the bond rates have been going up, a little bit at a time, But that tells me that maybe that's where the money is coming from that's feeding the equities, Standard & Poor's and the NASDAQ and even the Dow now going up to all-time high, or to much higher, to a bull market. I mean, the money has to come from somewhere. I think it might become part of it, might be coming out of the bond market. A lot of cash on the sidelines, obviously, not just in bonds. They could be in money markets. They could be in banks. Obviously, some of the banks ended up not having all that much money. Anyway, so Tesla closed near its high today, but not at its high. So it seems like there's potential for some more upside. As I mentioned, there's really no barrier. There's no technical barriers between now and 300. So it could just keep going up to 300. We've seen this story before. I don't know what the ending is going to look like, but we've seen the story. But the semi announcement today, and the fact that it was due to not enough batteries, that could spook some investors and give them an excuse to take some profits off their, take a little of the profits out, scoop up some long awaited profits, because it's been a long time. So that was the only negative news, but investors look for those excuses. You're sitting there maybe for the first time in profits for 2 years, and you're going, oh my gosh, I'd like to at least take some of this and put it on the side. We'll see what happens. Anyway, whole bunch of reports coming on Thursday. Mostly those reports will be indicating whether the strength or weakness in various sectors of the economy, but the market is no longer going to be happy with weakness. It's no longer going to be, oh boy, the business is weak, therefore the Fed will continue to be dovish. No, they're going to be looking for the economy to be strong. So if those are neutral to positive, then those would be helpful in terms of continuing the bull market. So if you would like to hear critical news stories about the market, about Tesla, about specific issues going on in the market at the right time every day, which is at the market opening, I have decided that I've been doing this on Monday mornings, and everybody's really apparently liking the show on Monday mornings, which I try to have posted by 7 o'clock at the latest. Now, I could post it earlier. I could post it before Pacific time. I could post it at 6:30 Pacific time before the market actually opens, or 6:25 or something. But I think it's more effective and more helpful to you if I post it right after, if I'm able to produce it right after the market opens. So I take like the first 5 minutes after the market opens to see directionally where things are going, and then produce it and then put it up, which should get it up most days by 7 o'clock. That's 10 o'clock Eastern time. So, some days I might not make it by 10, but that's what I'm going to shoot for. So I'm going to be drawing current news from over 10 sources, and I'll be reporting every day on oil and bonds. I think those are the two things that I feel are the most important in analyzing this market right now. And then market opening actions, and then Tesla, all that stuff, of course. And I'm also going to start posting up my scripts for the show. Now, these scripts are, they're just general, and I go way off script all the time. I don't read the script, but I'm going to post the script that I use, the notes that I use up on Patreon, not just for my morning show, but for all my shows. So that'll start soon. It might not happen today or tomorrow, but very, very soon. Those are going to be posted on Patreon along with all these other charts and everything else. And sometimes the videos will be posted up there early as well. So anyway, if this was useful, if you like this show tonight, please hit like. If you would like to subscribe, that's always a good idea. And then buy the book, and then hit notifications, because I'm going to be continuing my series this week, where I'm going to go, I'm going to look at semis, I'm going to look at the robots. I forget if there's anything else I'm going to look at. And then I'm going to do a really special show. I think that's going to be a Friday sometime. Maybe it'll be Saturday. I got a very special show coming up that has to do with all that analysis that I've been gathering together from all the divisions. And then probably Sunday or Monday, I'll have a complete, probably Monday, I'll have the complete story on Tesla quarter by quarter till the end of 2024, with all my projections and expectations by division, but also the grand totals, how I think that'll affect the stock price. Again, I'm not holding back here. You know that I think it's to be 300 by the third quarter for sure, going towards 400 in the first quarter of next year, heading to 700 before the end of next year, and then it's goes crazy from there. So I don't mind telling you, those are my that's my analysis of where the stock's going to be. But in all these things that I'm doing, it shows you how I get there. Okay, so that's about it for today. It's been great talking to you.